welcome once again to the Mayor's Weekly Updates here in the city of Athens. We're going to have kind of a little bit different press conference today to where we're shifting gears, and I'm dedicating a lot of the time today to the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's hard to believe that just 5 years ago we were on Howard Square here on Ohio University campus in the city of Athens with the 25th anniversary. Time flies. But before we get into that, I want to just remind people so that we have consistent messaging going out that the city does have a mandatory face covering ordinance. And that is to protect everyone in our community as best as we possibly can, because we all know face coverings as well as social distancing are probably the best things that we could possibly do when it comes to making our community members safe under the COVID-19 pandemic. You'll likely see a lot of this image all around the city, certainly in the uptown area, and a few billboards as you're coming into the city of Athens. I have to give a big thank you to the Athens County Convention and Visitors Bureau for working with the city on making sure we do have that consistent messaging. So please, do your part and cover your face when you're out in public, covering your nose, your mouth, and your chin, and maintain social distancing as much as possible. Another little difference with today's, my weather person, Kyle Johansson, has not jumped on the call. If he does come on, then we will bring that up on the tail end of today's press conference. So today it's with immense pleasure and honor that I read a proclamation, again, dedicating today as the Americans with Disabilities Act Day here in the city of Athens. So let me read this proclamation, and then I've got some amazing guests on the call today. I have the members from the Athens Commission on Disabilities, which way back in the day, one of my favorite positions was being on the board and then ultimately becoming the chair for the Commission on Disabilities. But right now it's in much better hands than when I had it under the current leadership. So let me read the proclamation. Office of the Mayor, proclamation. Whereas 30 years ago, on July 26, 1990, President George H.W. Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, critical civil rights legislation designed to increase access and opportunity for persons living with disabilities. While there were previous laws in place to address architectural and programmatic barriers, the Americans with Disabilities Act was a comprehensive national pledge to eliminate discrimination against persons living with disabilities. And whereas, while progress has been made to meet this moral imperative, we must continue to work toward providing full access to all citizens within our society. To do this, the City of Athens is committed to including people living with disabilities in critical decision-making and is rededicating itself to address barriers for persons living with disabilities in all city projects and services, including city planning, voting, housing, employment, education, communications, transportation, emergency preparedness, and governance. And whereas I commend and thank the Athens City Commission on Disabilities, its leadership, members, and community for their advocacy work, providing expertise, giving voice to people with disabilities, informing our community about issues, and helping improve quality of opportunity and full participation for everyone. And whereas on the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the city celebrates and recognizes the progress that has been made by reaffirming the principles of equity and inclusion, and recommits our efforts to go beyond the letter of the law to meet the spirit of full inclusion promised in the Americans with Disabilities Act. Now, therefore, I, Steve Patterson, the mayor of the city of Athens, Ohio, do hereby proclaim July 26th, 2020 as the passage of Americans with Disabilities Act 30th anniversary.
Hi, Steve.
And hey, Kyle, and encourage all residents to pledge to eliminate discrimination against persons living with disabilities. I am going to open this up to where there are some of the leaders of the Commission on Disabilities that wanted to speak briefly about today and the proclamation and the recognition of the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So I'll open it up to, I believe, Davey McNelly.
That's right.
Davey is the chair for the Commission on Disabilities. Davey.
Thank you very much, Steve, and good afternoon, everyone. Like Steve said, my name is Davey McNelly, and thank you very much, Steve, again, for the proclamation on the 30th anniversary of the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and thank you for your past service on this commission as well. You really, despite that comment, you did a great job of leading the commission before becoming mayor. I am the chair of the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. It's a joy and an honor to work with the talented and dedicated people with disabilities on this commission. Our purpose as an agency of city government is to provide a means for the concerns of people with disabilities to be heard, to advocate for public policy change, to provide expertise to the community on disabilities, and to tell the community about the strengths and limitations of people with disabilities, as well as how the community can help them improve their quality of life, thereby ensuring quality of opportunity and full participation in community life for everyone. The full commission meets once a month on the third Wednesday of each month at 5:30 p.m. Right now via Zoom, just like all the rest of the commissions. Most of our work comes from our 4 committees, which are Advocacy, Accessibility, Education and Outreach, and Communications. And each of these committees will have a chance to speak after this. We work both on disability rights and disability justice and try to have as full a representation of people with disabilities or affected by disabilities to serve. And we're always looking for new insights and new leaders too. Current members are me, Davey McNelly, Dr. Carolyn Lewis, Dr. Diane Bouvier, Noah Tremblay, Rose Dekas, Samora Dower, Scott Dennis, Dr. J.W. Smith, Sly Mata, Barry Dilly, Dr. Cheryl Przinski, and Arian Smedley, with many more serving on our committees. I want to take a moment to thank you all who are working locally towards enforcement of the ADA and making access possible to new space. We thank Friends of Stroud's Run for putting in an accessible trail, the mayor's office for hiring ASL interpreters, for the work on eliminating protruding objects and smoothing out sidewalks for those businesses who have made braille menus, for the downtown East State Street sidewalks, which are really handy to be able to get around downtown. We thank those in our community who welcome us into positions of power, because that's how changes are made, and give us a seat at the table when decisions are made. I think it's also very important to recognize some of our disabled civil rights activists who helped get the Rehab Act of 1973 and the ADA of 1990 passed, including Ed Roberts, Judy Heumann, Brad Lomax, and Justin Dart Jr. Those in San Francisco and throughout the U.S. who occupied federal buildings till laws were enforced. These were the longest occupation of a federal building in our nation's history. Those who put their bodies on the line by blocking buses till they got accessible transportation. Those ADAPT activists who demand health insurance to help keep them alive. Those who organized the Capitol crawl, in which hundreds of disabled people crawled up the steps of Congress to show the world that the ADA was necessary and sway enough Congress members to vote for it. those who filed lawsuits against our government to get us out of institutions, such as the Olmsted Supreme Court decision. And also, we want to acknowledge those right now who are working to block the Access Act, which would weaken the ADA in the interest of businesses. So far, that's been defeated in the Senate and the House and the US Congress. Those who right now are aware of and building intersectional coalitions with other marginalized groups. This is our history, and this is our present. We still have a lot of work to do for full inclusion and access. Providing access is a form both of respect and love for your fellow citizens. And we welcome you to join us and do your part to make Athens a more accessible place. You can email disabilitiescommission@ci.athens.oh.us, attention Davey. We encourage you to follow the Commission's Facebook page and our page on the city's website as well. Oh, and don't forget to wear a mask before I pass it on. Next, Diane Bouvier will give the Advocacy Committee report. Thank you.
Thanks, Davey. Good afternoon. I'm making this report on behalf of the chair of the Advocacy Committee, Sly Mata, and the members of the committee. The Advocacy Committee meets on the second Monday of each month via Zoom at 5:30. It's during this time that they discuss their goals, current projects, and overall mission. Their charge is to find ways to advocate for the disability community, be it locally, regionally, statewide, or nationwide. It's their hope that through advocacy, they will be able to increase awareness, knowledge, and understanding of what is important to the disability community. Additionally, they are hoping to inform the public on the many opportunities to advocate, including benchmarking local and state policy, writing letters to lawmakers, and finding new ways, virtually and in person, and hopefully later in the community, and to increase notions of advocacy, with your masks, of course. Current members of the committee are Sly Mata, Noah Tremblay, Samora Dower, J.W. Smith, Anna Corpy, and Scott Dennis. In the coming months, their committee will create a strategic plan which will guide their objectives, goals, and outcomes for the coming year. They welcome all allies, and any thoughts or ideas that people in the community have, they should send on to Sly Mata at the same address that Davey mentioned, disabilitiescommission@ci.athens.oh.us. As with the other committees, they encourage you to follow the Commission's Facebook page and like us on the Facebook page, and also look on the city's website to see what's happening with the Commission. Next, Noah Tremblay will tell you about the work of our Accessibility Committee. Noah, you ready?
Thanks, Diane. I co-chair the Accessibility Committee with Davey. We meet every month on the second Thursday of the month right here on Zoom. We work with private business and many branches of our local government. Some of the government agencies include engineering, code enforcement, and city council. We address current concerns as well as looking at plans of future city projects. We've been looking at projects that are set for 2021 through 2023. The city is doing a much-needed streetscape projects between the blocks of College Street and Congress on State and Washington. We're exploring how to make the businesses in the historical buildings more accessible for all. Before I go, I would like to especially recognize one local business. That would be CASA. Our committee conducted some audits of a few great businesses uptown, and CASA followed up with us and implemented most of our recommendations that we gave them. Now I will hand things over to my lovely colleague, Carolyn Lewis.
I like the lovely Noah. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm making this report on behalf of Claire Geisagen, interim chairperson of the Communications Committee. The committee meets once a month, the second Thursday at 5:30. Right now, also via Zoom. to discuss strategies in distributing news, resources, and information from the Commission. The committee informs the public concerning both the local commission's work and global disability justice. Our strategy includes press releases, radio interviews, curating letters and columns to newspaper editors, special media projects, building a web presence through its refreshed Facebook page, and publicizing the ADA's 30th year. Current members of the committee are Rose Deacus, Councilwoman Arian Smithy, Claire, and me. Next, the committee is looking forward to providing local activists with resources on making public gatherings and demonstrations accessible, developing a resource guide for people with disabilities who are in need of basic resources, and publicizing the upcoming 6th Annual Athena Award, and calling all artists for a newly designed award. We welcome story ideas and contributions from the Athens community and committee members who wish to serve. Again, you can email us and send this one to the attention of Claire to Disabilities Commission at ciathens.oi or h.us. We again encourage you to follow the Commission's Facebook page and our city's page, and that's from Claire. So I'm making the next and our last report in union with Barry Dilley, who serves with me as co-chairperson of the Education and Outreach Committee. We meet monthly, the second Tuesday at 5 o'clock, right here via Zoom again, and plan to host the Athena Award again this year, depending on the format. And we work on educational events with partners and reach out to other groups and organizations to provide information, preserve the history of the Commission, and inform local organizations about what the Commission does through speaking engagements and interviews. In fact, committee member J.W. Smith will be speaking virtually to the Citizen Club on Monday. Contact us if you want us on your program. Other committee members are Rose Deacus, Cheryl Krusinski, Samora Dower, Joan Butcher, and Claire Classica. This year, we're calling our artists to design and create a new Athena Award. Nominations are also open for this year's Athena Award, which recognizes outstanding contributions in service toward persons with disabilities in the Athens community. Details for both on the Commission's Facebook page and on our city's page. We're grateful for the success last year in celebrating the 15th year of the Commission and the 5th year of the Athena Award. And we thank you for your community support. We work toward celebrating community. Again, the email is to contact us at Disabilities Commission at ci.athens.os.us. You're probably tired of hearing that. We want you to get in touch with us to get involved. So thank you very much, and I give it now back to Davey, and with thanks, as the mayor said, for his excellent leadership. David?
I forgot to unmute. Again, just to close things out here, thanks for all of the people who were able to join us from the Disability Commission today. It's just such an honor to help lead all these talented and great people. And again, thank you, Mayor Patterson, for your strong support for the Disability Commission, your office staff. Shout out to Patty in your office, who helps us keep organized, and City Council. We appreciate this opportunity to observe the anniversary of the ADA and recognize just how important it is to our work and to disability access for all. Thank you.
Well, and from me to all of you on the Commission on Disabilities, the work that you're doing is such a heavy lift, but you're all doing it with grace, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see how we're all working so well together to make sure we're a barrier-free city someday. We have a long ways to go. There's no doubt about that. But, we will get there. In time, we will absolutely get there. So thank you.
Steve, let me do the forecast.
Kyle, I would love for you to give the forecast. If you would give us a truncated forecast up through Sunday, if you would. Kyle, as everyone knows, Kyle comes on every show and gives us the weekly update on all things weather related.
So today there will be partly cloudy skies, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, high of 86. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tonight, scattered storms, low 71. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, scattered storms, storms may contain strong gusty winds, high of 83. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early, low 67. Chance of rain 50%. Friday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or storm is possible, high of 86. Friday night, clear to partly cloudy. A stray shower or storm is possible, low 63. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 88 degrees. Saturday night, mostly clear, low 64. And Sunday, partly cloudy skies, the high of 94 and low 69.
So it's going to be warm, everybody, if you haven't noticed already. Kyle, thank you. And as usual, I enjoy having you on and updating the weather. I think we'll leave on a high note instead of talking about COVID-19 at this point in time, because I want to leave it on a high note with just reminding everybody to help us join me in celebrating 30 years, this 30-year anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I think those of you who are watching today, as usual, thanks for joining in for the Mayor's Weekly Update. And please join me again next week for the next weekly update. Have a great rest of your week and look forward to seeing you next week.